Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Boom Boom Room. I'm back with you with Whispers Across America.
Whispers?
For some reason, I pictured you as an English man with a mustache, with big eyebrows, with a pipe. by a big fireplace saying, Whispers.
Now, you saw all that in about like half a millisecond?
Yeah, I did.
That's a pretty good imagination,
I've
man.
got a pretty good damn imagination. I just don't know how to express it and stuff. But I'm back with you guys and with Whispers Across America with your favorite, America's favorite host, Ted Fitzpatrick. How you doing, Ted?
Hello. So Illinois is isn't that where Abraham Lincoln is from?
Yes, he's from Illinois. No, he's from Kentucky or Illinois. Shit, I don't know. I don't know now, dude. Yeah.
This is
I think he's from Illinois, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And oh yeah, that's right. That's where Chicago is, isn't it?
Yeah, Chi-Town. St. Louis. Yes.
Chicago.
St. Louis, the most dangerous town in America.
Dang, man. Yeah. There's been a lot of presidents from Illinois.
Really?
A lot of presidents, man. There's been we had Abe Lincoln, of course.
Yeah.
Ulysses Grant. We had Ronnie Reagan.
I didn't know Ronald was from here.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna
do it. And Barack Obama.
Barack Obama, yeah.
And
tear down that wall.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
was Reagan, man.
That was Reagan said, yep, tear down that wall. Gorbachev.
Tear down that wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, Illinois, man. That's
Have you ever been to Illinois?
I have never been to Illinois.
Yeah.
Been to Minnesota, which is kind of close. Kind of close by there.
Yeah, it's kind of close.
It's kind of, man, when I went to Minnesota, well, we're not on Minnesota, but anyway.
Yeah.
when I went, I was like amazed because when you're driving on the freeways, you have the sound barriers, these big walls, right? That try to trap the sound from the freeway. Well, out here in California, they're all made of concrete.
Yeah.
Right? Now, but out there, Minnesota, they're all made of big old logs, man.
Yeah.
Just big, lots of wood, lots of timber, It was interesting. But Illinois, named after the Indian tribe.
Really?
Yep. Named after.
Did not know that.
And Spring, and the capital city is Springfield. Isn't that where the Simpsons live?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I think didn't the Bundys live in Illinois too?
Did they?
Al Bundy, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Al Bundy, the most famous shoe salesman of all.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching a interesting little thing on him today, but yep. Illinois. I'll say this. I've been to the Arch one time, and I went. And the Arch is really, really neat. The way you go up in this little elevator, and when you get up top, it's very small. It's only can fit like maybe 8 or 9 people, and you look out these windows, you can see the whole city and the whole thing swaying. You can feel it swaying. It's really interesting. And then you go down, and then at the bottom, underground, is a huge museum.
Wait. It goes up one way, but it goes down the other way, right?
I don't know.
Or does it goes up one side of the arch and it comes back down the other side of the arch?
No, I can't remember.
Dude, that'd be a letdown, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, if you go up one side of the arch, you're expecting go down the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
exactly right. Man, dude, I
honestly,
don't know. It's weird. It was weird.
they should make honestly, it should be like a roller coaster ride. I mean, it should go, like they should shoot you up there,
Yeah.
boom, and it kind of slow at the top, and then you fall down the other side. They have to slow, they have to slow it down before you get to the ground.
Yeah.
Of course. But that'd be kind of cool.
It's huge, dude. To set up under and to look up, it is really it's big for real.
Do you think that the arch is where McDonald's got their idea for their logo?
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. How do you say? Do you say McDonald's or do you say McDonald's?
Mick.
Okay. Because I know like people say McDonald's, but I say
oh
Mick.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
McDonald's. I think well, that's like a Scottish name, I think, right? So,
yeah, it's Scottish. Yeah.
So I think they had Max and Mix.
Yeah. How did we get talking about cheeseburgers, man?
I mean, this is like free range brainstorm.
Illinois.
Free association. That's what it's called. Free association.
Yeah.
Illinois.
That's called rabbit trails and mind wandering.
And I'm sure they like cheeseburgers in Illinois. So
they did. Where was the first cheeseburger invented? I can't remember.
Oh, dude, it would have to be. It's kind of if you think about it, it's kind of an offshoot of the sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So, what was that guy, the Earl?
I tell you when it was. That's why I was thinking Illinois. It was remember the World's Fair they used to have in Illinois, St. Louis. Remember back 100 years ago. I think they invented it there. That's why it came up. Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see where. Yeah, where was the ham burger? Man, dude, I cannot type fast.
Oh, dude, you're gonna make me hungry.
Guess what? Hold on.
What? Illinois?
I was wrong. It was claimed that Louis Lasson served the first hamburger in his lunch wagon in 1900 when a customer asked for something quick and easy. He slapped a broiled beef patty between two slices of toast, no bun, no ketchup, and served it up in New Haven, Connecticut.
His last name was actually Lunch?
No, I think that was just like a nickname. But it said Lunch,
But you know that there's the city, the big city in Germany called Hamburg.
Yeah, that's what it was saying too about Hamburg.
Hamburg.
Uh-huh.
They must have, I don't know. He must have named it that for a reason. Maybe it was based on some sort of, I mean, back in Germany, man, they'll have they'll eat a meal, like a meal.
Uh-huh.
It's just nothing but meat. It's all meat.
Yeah.
They'll have you could have a little sausage, a little pork cutlet, but it's nothing but meat. And
it's weird. But looky here, though, there's 4 of them claiming this. But this is the one that I was telling you about. Old Dave Davis allegedly served ground beef patties on bread with onions and mustard at his lunch counter and later brought the dish to the 1904 St. Louis World Fair.
Dang,
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty good, man.
Yeah,
I do know that's the one thing we could do a series on. In addition to spooky folklore stories from every state, but dude, there's some interesting hamburger recipes from different states.
Yeah,
They're like everybody does it. Maybe they have their own little twist on it. They're like there's this one place I forget where it is, but they take the cheese when it's on the grill or the what do you call that? The griddle, right?
Yeah.
And then they chop it up with the meat. kind of like a chop, yeah.
Never. Wow, I've never heard of that. Now, I know there used to be a place in Arkansas where we'd go. They used to have this mountainous road you would go up to Northwest Arkansas. And from where I live, Northwest Arkansas's home, of the college town and where Walmart was invented in the headquarters. And there's stars is always seen up there for when they fly in for the once a year thing, and all that. But anyway, they used to have this little hamburger stand in a small little town called Mountainburg. And we'd stop there, called Mountain Burgers. And there was these little square patties, and they had relish and mustard. And on like a little bun, like the little square buns, not a hamburger bun, but these little square looking buns. And I'm telling you, man, they were really, really good. But people have different varieties of way they cook burgers. I've seen been to some famous places in Oklahoma, in El Reno, Oklahoma, and it's been on TV. You can probably Google it, and 100 guys has been there on videos. But in El Reno Grill, and they best burgers you ever ate, and they would chop them up with the onions and like ground the burger up and put them on a bun, And
yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean that's it's kind of like how the Russians make hamburgers. They chop up onions and put the onions in the hamburger meat.
Yep. And I tell you this, I don't know if they're Swedish or what, but I know in Kansas there's a lot of communities, and they would. There's a place called Runza. I don't know if you got them out there. They don't have them around here, but they have them sometimes in the Midwest. And what it is, it looks like a bun or a actual roll, it looks like. But in the middle is the hamburger meat and everything. You know what I mean? So it's like a roll filled with hamburgers. It's some kind of, I don't know if it's a Swedish or some, I don't know, something like German. Man. It might be German. But anyway, it's really, really good. And stuff.
That sounds good, dude. There's this place called, we got this sandwich place out here called Jimmy John's. I don't think it's from California.
we got them here. We got Jimmy John's.
Dude. Well, I picked up a bottle of this relish that they have for the sandwiches, but it's made out of red peppers, right? The red pepper relish. Dude, that stuff is so good.
Is it real hot?
No. It's a little spicy. It's oh man, that's good. It's really good. That red pepper relish, man.
No, I hate that. I gotta stay away from that hot stuff.
Yep. But I mean, if there's one thing you could say about cheeseburgers is that, like, if you're a bachelor, like me and you, like, if you're a bachelor, you love cheeseburgers.
Oh yeah.
And you might even like to, investigate a nice, pretty forest grove to sit down and eat your cheeseburger. But don't let the phantom of Bachelor's Grove get you.
Oh, there we go. Good segue.
The Phantom of Bachelor's Grove. Deep in the thick woods of Cook County, Illinois, lies a crumbling graveyard called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery. A small abandoned burial site near Midlothian that's become infamous as one of the most haunted places in America. In the 1800s, it was a quiet resting place for German and Irish settlers. But by the mid-20th century, vandals and thrill seekers had left it desecrated, tombstones smashed, graves disturbed, and legends born. The most feared spirit is the Phantom Woman. She's often seen sitting silently on a tombstone, holding an infant in her arms. Witnesses say she wears a white or blue dress, her face pale and sad, her eyes sunken as if mourning something no one else can see. But she isn't the only ghost. A phantom farmhouse is said to appear deep in the woods, shimmering in the distance. Those who try to approach it say it gets smaller and smaller until it vanishes before they can reach it. There's even a two-headed ghost dog, who reportedly guards the cemetery after dark, its growls echoing through the trees. Some even tell of a ghostly horse and a plowman seen rising from the nearby lagoon, believed to be the spirit of a farmer who drowned there when his horse panicked and dragged both of them into that water. Locals warn never to visit Bachelor's Grove Cemetery alone or after sunset. They say the air turns cold, your electronics fail, and you hear whispers calling your name, even when no one's around. Many who dared to trespass came back changed, or they didn't come back at all.
Grove. You know, what's interesting about that is there just not one ghost, one Pacific ghost?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man, it's a freaking haunted house. It's like they got everything. They got a dog, a horse. They got I guess they got the mama and they got the whole family there too, you know?
Yeah, it's a cemetery. Yeah. What did they say? It's in the 1800s. It was.
But that makes, it was, well, I think that's when the cemetery was, was made.
Okay.
Consecrated. That's the word, right? It's the opposite of desecrated. Consecrated. But then I guess about a century later, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would someone smash a tombstone? Come on now.
Well,
I mean,
I was with some young kids one time, and we would go to this Native American cemetery, and one of them was going to smash a tombstone because we were all out there drinking, and me and him got in it, and we got, you know, and I mean, you know, I've never been a saint ever, but I got nose to nose with him. I was about 17. I said, dude, you don't do that. I said, why would you do that? You know, I mean, just to be funny, and you know, some people's like that just a minute. But when we pulled in the cemetery, that's what I was going to tell you. I'll never forget it. It had a gate, and it wasn't a big cemetery. There's maybe 20 graves in there, but it had an old iron gate. Probably the gate was maybe 60, 70 years old, because it went back to the 1800s, this old Native American cemetery. I never forget, dude, there was 2 black cats sitting on each post.
Whoa.
Looking at us. One had green eyes and one had blue. Now, what is the odds of 2 black cats sitting on the post, both of them at the same time?
Dang, they were the guardians, man.
I'm telling you, dude, there was some, and
man, those cemeteries, man. Cemeteries are kind of interesting, man. I mean, they're kind of they are a spooky place.
Yeah.
If you go there to visit one of your deceased, you know, ancestors, you know, it's a place of reverence.
Yeah.
Place of remembrance. And man, I mean, I don't think I'd go to a cemetery after dark.
We used to go all the time, me and my cousin, and we would drink. He's stupid. I'm talking about 10 years ago, you know, when I was still. That's
because nobody else was going there, you know.
No, but we was in this big town, dude, and I don't understand why the cops didn't get us. But we would pull up, and we'd go to his grandpa's grave, and we'd be drinking whiskey and listening to Elvis. And,
well, I hope you poured out a little bit for his grandpa.
I think we did. But there was but we would just pull in there for like 30 minutes or an hour and we'd leave. But I don't know why the cops didn't get us. We do that a lot, you know. But yeah, they are interesting, you know. From a lot of encounters that I've heard, Dogmen, there's a lot of encounters that happen in or around cemeteries for some reason.
Really?
I don't know why. Yeah, the encounters of Dogmen I hear a lot about.
Huh.
Yep, sure do.
Is there a Dogman of Illinois?
I might have a story. Yes, I might have one, but that's an interesting one there, Ted. The Bachelor Grove. It very is.
Because you know that those spirits are a little riled up, man. You know.
Well, yeah, they
Not
are.
only, you know, someone disrespected their final resting place. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I guess if you're ready for me to read mine, I will read it.
Let's hear it, man.
Okay, now this one here, I don't know if this is the exact one that I've heard the story like 2 or 3 times from Illinois, but I'm not for sure if it's the one or not. But anyway, I'll read it and I'll see if it is, but I don't think it is. But I think this is a kind of a famous story from Illinois. Okay, this is called Blood in the Pines, the Shawnee Dogman Massacre. In the summer of 1987, a group of 4 friends from Carbondale set out to spend the weekend camping near Bell Smith Springs, a remote area of Shawnee Forest known for waterfalls and for going eerily silent at night. They were experienced campers, all in their 20s. And they weren't scared of any legends, but the locals had warned them, don't go past the Devil's Backbone Trail after dark. They didn't listen. The first night was uneventful. Even around 2:30 a.m., something howled, a deep, unnatural roar that echoed through the trees. Not a coyote, not a wolf. Something wrong. And then came the screaming. One of the friends, Mark, ran from the tent, flashlight in hand, and found bloody drag marks in the dirt leading toward the ravine. By the time the sheriff's department arrived 12 hours later, only one man was left alive, and he was barely that. They found him curled at the base of the tree, soaked in blood, mumbling. It stood like a man, but it had jaws. God, the jaws. The scene they walked into still considered one of the most gruesome discoveries in Illinois history. One body was found half eating, entrails strung from branches like decorations. Another had his face torn off as if something wanting to wear it. The third was found up a tree, gutted and nailed to the trunk with a sharpened branch. The survivors, whose name was never made public, was institutionalized. The official report blamed it on a bear attack, but local rescue crews swore the bite marks were too wide, the claw marks too deep, and the damage too precise, like something hunted them for fun. Over the years, hikers still reported pools of blood with no body, strange howls, and once a severed deer's head hanging from a branch. The bite marks that matched, nothing natural. They say the Dogman of Shawnee still hunts the Devil's Backbone Trail, and if it smells blood, it doesn't stop until something dies.
Dogman.
Yep. Dogman.
Dude, what is the difference between a Dogman and a werewolf?
Okay, a werewolf is a man that turns into a dog man. You know what I mean? A man that transforms, basically like a shapeshifter or or something like that. But I think a dog man is just a dog man. They're just basically,
they were born that way.
Some say they were born that way, just like a Bigfoot. But I've listened to a lot of stories about a man, and most of them that I've listened to, both of my friends, Josh Channel and Daniels, had a lot of people with encounters. But man, could you imagine freaking seeing, and listen what most typical dog men look like. They look like a German Shepherd nose, pointy nose, snarling teeth, pointy ears, and their bodies come down like a V, and they're built like a bodybuilder. Their legs are bent backwards, the haunches. They've got hands instead of paws that's got claws on them. Could you imagine? They're about 6.5, 7 foot tall. Could you imagine seeing something like that at night? I would actually pee and poop myself at the same time. I would, dude. Well, think about that.
I mean, but if you pooped yourself, would you clean it up to be nice? Because with the doggy bags, right?
No,
no, dude. No, that's the thing about that story with the what's the connection? But is there a connection to Native American folklore with this?
They're both. I mean, this story in particular.
I don't know. I mean, I guess so. Yeah. Was there? I mean,
not really, but a lot of it happens. A lot of it happens around Indian or Native American burial grounds and cemeteries. A lot of things we're seeing, and I don't know anybody personally that's seen Dogman, but I believe it exists. I don't want to see it. Now, I think most of them. I'm friends with Vic. That he's the Dogman Encounters. If you guys want to look that up or watching that on Facebook, I don't know him personally. I don't know how to become friends. I guess because I'm friends with a few other content creators. But anyway, he's the man. If you want to watch a channel, just look it up. Dogman Encounters. Vic. I don't want to say his last name, could always mess it up, but his first name Vic. But anyway, most of them are not aggressive. They don't attack. You know what I mean? Yeah. Most of them are. They call them fear eaters. They just want to, put fear in you. Now, some of them have attack. I think the ones they attack you don't hear about because you wouldn't last long, dude, with a freaking dog man. The ones I've heard that have attacked, I've heard a story, and I don't know I can't sit there and tell the whole story, but it was a dude and his cousin had a dog, and they were hunting. They seen a dog man. The cousin pulled the gun on the dog man, and it was 50 yards away. He said, "Don't shoot it." He shot it. He said he knew not to shoot it. Because most people, they say if you don't shoot them, you know what I mean, they're not aggressive. He shot it. It ended up it knocked one of them out, and it ended up killing his dog. You know what I mean?
That's a big mistake.
Yeah, he made a mistake, but there's also a story that was on Josh's channel, Mysteries Unknown, that there's this guy that when he was a kid, was 12 years old, and he was out and had a 12 gauge shotgun, or 410, I'm sorry, and he seen this, he thought it was a fox. Well, he ended up, before he shot it, because he said, "Don't shoot." He shot it, but he looked, it was a dog man. It was a wolf, but it was on his four legs. He said, and then later on, he kept seeing this thing his whole life. And then, through his whole life, he would even move. Now he's a grown man. What ended up happening, I know this is crazy, ended up happening, he said, you're going to be the first one I kill when they give me permission. It would mind speak to him. this Dogman. So, but he ended up becoming, a Christ follower, praying and stuff, and he didn't see it no more. He kept praying and all that. That's one instant of the Dogman. I've heard there's other. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just thinking, dude, next time I go camping, man, I better stock up on some milk bones, man.
Dude,
I mean,
it ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you, man. If you'd hear the stories
well,
that I've heard about Dogman.
But what struck me about this one, the Blood in the Pines, was this Dogman seemed, well, number one, seemed to have creative ways to dispatch each victim. Like, he didn't do it all the same way. It was all different ways.
Yeah.
And I mean, that says something right there. It shows like, okay, this thing is actually capable of some creativity there. And then and he used a sharp stick to like poke somebody up against a tree, I guess. Was it a tree?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, dang, man, he puts like Jason Voorhees to shame, man.
Yeah, I've heard some crazy stories. I heard this one. I'll tell you just two quick little stories. I don't want to, make it a long deal. There's this one. I think I've told you this. This guy was hunting. He done seen the Dogman before. Long story. In the hunting blind, when he's pointing the gun, Dogman's in front of him. And it's got two other Dogmen. He could tell this was a dominant Dogman. And it's a long story, but actually his stepdad shot its father. But anyway, there was a rake like 50 yards past him. You know what a rake is. If you guys don't know
Dogman stepped on it.
No. but their cattle was being killed, and the Dogman mind speak, and he pointed with his fingers, his hands, and said, don't shoot. He said, that's what's been killing your cattle. We kill that. We hunt that. So he was saying that's what the Dogman's purpose was, to hunt them creatures. The rake.
Wait, no. Rake? What's a rake? I thought you were talking about the tool that you use for leaves.
No, dude, a rake. You don't know what a rake is? Come on, man. I need to get a better co-host. No. You we'll have to see about a rake. I
guess we don't have rakes out here in California, man.
Okay, no, they're out there.
Something?
Yeah.
What?
They're out there, dude. They're freaking scary looking.
Is this a crypto animal?
Yeah, it's a cryptid.
Cryptid. Yeah.
Yeah, look it up. Put in rake cryptic and look at what it looks like. Scary as shit.
So in that instance, the Dogman was a protector.
Yes.
So it seems like they're not all, but
no,
they're all bad because they feed on fear.
Yeah.
But they just have enemies among other cryptids.
Yeah, and
territorial.
I mean, dude, it's like, first of all, a person that don't believe thinks you're effing crazy, but from what I've seen in the encounters, like in that instant, all they wanted was that land to run around on. They didn't care about nothing else. They didn't bother anybody. They didn't even kill the cattle. It was the rakes that was killing the cattle. That's what, you know what I mean?
So a rake, from these pictures I'm looking at, is like a ghoul.
Yeah.
Kind of like a humanoid.
Yes.
Ghoul.
Uh-huh.
But they must be all bachelors, man, because they like they like hamburgers. They're eating all the cows.
Yeah, they must have. But no, my friend Daniel, the one on the Cryptic podcast, my friend, he had a rake encounter when he was like an early teen. Him and his buddy.
They wanted a Daniel burger.
They wanted the Dano. I don't know if he'll watch this, but we ain't making fun of you, Daniel. We just like to laugh. But But yeah, man, it's interesting. You know, these cryptics are interesting, dude. Go down the rabbit hole a little bit.
Like the Dogman is definitely. I mean, I don't think. I know that it's not as famous as the werewolf, even though they're similar cryptids. But it sounds like they have a little more control over their thinking, right? And they have this telepathic ability to speak, to mind speak, which is that's a trip. Where the werewolf, man, is kind of just like bestial and really just is more of an animal. But the dog man can actually has some thought processes.
Yeah, I believe that, but personally, that all them scary movies we see are actual real things that people's either seen or I'm telling you, you know what I mean? I'll tell you this real quick. And I heard a story that a man and his girlfriend and a man, his sister, and his sister's boyfriend, they were caught in this old church for like 8 hours with 3 dogmen outside. Just going around the church, scratching on the windows, dude. Could you imagine that? And then when he finally left in the morning and opened up the door of the car, the dogman opened up the door and pissed all in the car.
Dang.
Yep, short and all over the car. Ain't that crazy? That's freaking nuts.
I mean, they should have put a fire hydrant out there, dude. Their fault.
All right, Ted.
The dog man, they like hanging around the cemeteries. And Illinois must have a lot of cemeteries, man. I mean, because that state's been around for a while.
Yeah,
a lot of history there.
Yeah, there's much violence there. There ought to be a lot of cemeteries. It's awful.
Yeah, and so one of Illinois' most famous cemeteries is called the Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois. Southwest of Chicago.
Hold on. Oh, it's the hold on. No, you're reading the right one. It's the ghost of Resurrection Mary.
I was gonna say that.
Damn it! I'm sorry. Sorry, I messed it up.
This spooky story from the state of Illinois is called "The Ghost of
Water Babies."
Water Babies. The Ghost of Resurrection Mary. Resurrection Mary.
Okay.
So they call her Resurrection Mary, a ghostly young woman in a white dress who hitchhikes along Archer Avenue only to vanish into thin air. Or worse than thin air. The legend is the story goes back to 1930s when a young woman named Mary went dancing at the O. Henry Ballroom, now named the Willowbrook Ballroom. After a heated argument with her date, Mary left that dance early and she decided to walk home. It was a cold winter night. She never made it home. Some say Mary was hit by a car and left to die alone near the cemetery gates. Her parents buried her in Resurrection Cemetery, wearing the same white dress she had worn that night. Since then, hundreds of people have reported picking up a beautiful blonde girl in a vintage white dress along Archer Avenue. She never speaks much. Sometimes she asks to be dropped off near the cemetery gates. But when the car slows down she vanishes. Other drivers have seen her standing behind the bars of the Resurrection Cemetery fence, her hands gripping the iron, her face pale and glowing. In one famous case from 1976, a man reported seeing burnt handprints melted into the bars. The cemetery quietly had that section of the fence removed. Some accounts of Resurrection Mary are darker. A few drivers claimed that when they tried to touch her or speak to her too closely, she turned, and her face was bloody and broken, her mouth twisted as if screaming silently. One man even crashed his car after Mary suddenly appeared in his back seat, crying. People still see her today. A ghostly girl in white, alone on the roadside. Sometimes she walks. Sometimes she waits. And sometimes she gets in.
Ooh.
Resurrection Mary.
I've heard about this. I've watched a documentary on Discovery Channel about her.
Yeah, this is a famous one, isn't it?
Yep, it's a famous one. I've even had my mom tell me similar story. You know, I don't think I can't remember if my mom said it was in Illinois, but she'd tell me the story about that. So it was famous.
Mm.
You know.
Yep. And I think, I mean, if you think about like all the different stories that we've heard about this sort of thing, I mean, it probably all goes back to, because there's a lot of different stories like this, but I think this is the original.
Yep.
I mean, I think all the other ghost stories about the ghost hitchhikers and such, or, you know,
it's the OG.
Asking to be dropped off and they disappear, and I think that they're all based on this one here, the Resurrection Mary. So when they're saying resurrection, it just means not necessarily coming back to life, but almost.
Yeah, I think that's just a nickname, but that's creepy, man. So she just died? Is that what happened, or what happened?
Yeah, she well, some say she got hit by a car. And well, the story we read, that was the only hypothesis, that was the only, and it kind of makes sense, though. It kind of like goes along with her more horrific aspect to her appearance, where sometimes she appears as if she has just been hit by a car.
Yeah.
But that would be a spooky one. Definitely.
Well, I had a relative, and this has been about 20 years ago. There's almost to the line of Arkansas over in Oklahoma, there's a creek, just an old muddy creek, put a little bridge. And what happened was a lady had a wreck, and there was a car that went down in there, and it was kind of flooded, right? Well, the car stayed there for about 3 days, and I guess they didn't find it till like 3 days, and there was a lady that was passed away in there, And now I don't know if this was the same one that happened, but my cousin, about 10 years later, went across the bridge and said when he sit, the bridge is a small bridge, 2 seconds to go over. He said that when he started to go over it, he looked over and there was a woman sitting in his seat, like an apparition. And I said, well, what'd you say? He said, I was scared to death. All I could say is, what do you want? He said, as soon as he got over the bridge, she disappeared. And then the same bridge, I had another relative say that he seen a UFO right in the same area. Now, maybe there's something to do with that area. I don't know. Maybe something happened. There was a lot of Native American burial grounds close by there. But that would be scary to see a woman apparition.
Well, I mean, you know, dang, dude. And then she's silent, you know. So
Yeah.
you know, so those who might be concerned about her might like try to touch her on the shoulder and say, "Hey, you know, you okay?"
Damn.
And then she turns her face back, and it's
Wow.
horrific, you know.
Yeah, that would be
But,
spooky, man. That would be spooky.
but you know what? So, okay, here's the only thing that stood out to me about this story is that okay, if the gates, cemetery gates, are made out of iron,
mhm.
I thought that iron was supposed to be something that ghosts did not like.
Really?
I mean that's what my understanding is that
I
they
didn't
don't
know
like
that.
well they don't like salt, but they don't like iron either. And so that was kind of curious to me is that she's sometimes seen, you know, gripping the iron, and later on the iron is like, you know, melted, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it is that she, you know, she feels trapped in the cemetery, and she's
Yeah.
such, you know, and she has such a forceful emotion about that she doesn't care if it hurts her
Exactly.
to touch the iron. She just grabs it, trying to pull the gates open, but she
Why?
can,
Why
you know,
would she? Why would she want to be an apparition? I mean, I mean, there's got to be a reason that she'd want to come back and haunt that place. Is it the way she died? Was it violent that we don't know about?
I think, well, with the ghost folklore, I think a lot of times if it's a sudden death, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't realize that they have died, but they get stuck in a loop, right?
Yeah.
It's like they just, you know, somehow get stuck in this loop of reliving the last moments of their life, or
Wow,
you
that's
know,
crazy, man. Thinking that way.
but
When would he
so
ever get rest? I mean,
oh gosh,
when the end of the world, when the end of age happens, or something. Or,
yeah, you know, or possibly if you had, you know, somebody spiritually gifted that could offer her guidance to,
yeah.
you know, to move on to where she's supposed to be. But you know,
Yeah, that's
at
true.
least at least, well, I guess she caused some guy to crash his car, but I don't think she's malicious necessarily. She's just there. She's just an appearance, an apparition.
Damn.
Man.
Man, that's spooky. The only thing, man, that would be way more spookier than that, you know, is water babies. Sorry, I had to do it. All right, I'm gonna read my last one. Hopefully, you guys know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Last week.
that's from the great state of Idaho. They got some scary. You got to listen to the Idaho episode.
Yes, to know what we're talking about, and hopefully you did watch the premiere last week of which will be on the Saturday, and I don't know what day. Usually I put them around 5:15, 5 o'clock. I've changed them to a little bit later in the day. So, but anyway, let me read my last one, sir. It is called The Seven Gates of Hell. Collinsville, Illinois. On the outskirts of Collinsville, Illinois, a quiet town near St. Louis, there's a twisted back route that locals call the Seven Gates of Hell. It's not marked on maps. You have to know where to look. The legend says there are 7 railroad trestle bridges tucked deep into the woods, one after the other, along rural Lebanon Road. Pass through them in order at midnight, and you'll be transported somewhere else. No one agrees exactly where it leads. Some say hell. Some say a cursed plane. Others claim you'll disappear in another dimension entirely. But there's a here's the creepy part. Each gate is tied to a specific sin or spirit, and each one gets more dangerous than the last. Locals speak of shadow figures standing silently by the bridges. Some even seen burning eyes watching from the treetops. Others claim their car engines die on the third or fourth gate. And when they get out, there's no wind, no sound, just pressing silent like something's breathing down their neck. The boldest daredevils try to go through all 7 gates, but few make it to the 7th. And those who do, they say you'll see a glowing, burning door at the final gate. And if you drive through it, you won't come back the same. Some are never seen again. Some are found wandering the woods days later, babbling nonsense, their eyes wide with fear and their minds broken. The police say it's just a bunch of old train trestles, but the locals know better. They know the roads aren't always roads, and some bridges lead to places you've not meant to go. So what do you think about that, going into another dimension?
Man, the first train trestle bridge was called Sin, or was called Pride.
Ooh.
The second one was called Greed.
Damn.
The third one, Lust. The fourth one, Envy. Fifth one, Gluttony. Sixth one, Wrath. Seventh one, Sloth.
Damn. That is crazy, dude. I've heard of, what do you think about portals and dimensions here on Earth?
Well, dude, I mean, the most famous one is the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
And so there's been enough weird things that happen at that Bermuda Triangle to where that's one example of a portal. And then there's also the what you might call it. Oh yeah, I mean, so like also when people see the unidentified flying objects, a lot of times, I mean, where the heck are they coming from? Gotta be coming from somewhere. You know, I mean, I guess that wouldn't necessarily be a supernatural portal, maybe like an alien technology, but portals. I mean,
there's what I'm saying is, like, some believe in the cryptic community, like Bigfoot or Sasquatch, it goes through portals. I've even seen some, videos of respected people have videos portals, because they can't find Sasquatch and stuff, and it is crazy that there's no, I mean, they've got evidence of Sasquatch and the government knows about it, but
I mean, I guess at the here's the thing, at the atomic level of our existence, right? We're all, everything as far as we know is made out of atoms.
Yeah.
And then when they get, use the powerful microscopes, electron microscopes to image the atoms, they find that the atoms themselves are mostly empty space.
Yeah.
So that the matter that makes up everything we know of in our existence is at that level, mostly empty space. So then begs the question, what could exist in that empty space that we are not aware of, right? And and so, is that one way where the interdimensional type of phenomena could occur by coming through these empty spaces? And I mean, of course there's other, because time, man, you get to talking about space-time and black holes and such. The portal kind of reminds me of a black hole, but if you think about, that's one of the weirdest phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
You could think of, where in the heck does it go? right?
Exactly.
You know, it's like, ooh, it's a hole. Gotta go somewhere.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, it's like.
Well, I mean, you know, you go back. Okay, like you go to biblical believing. Like some believe hell is in the center of earth. I think if it is, it's got to be a dimension, even in the heavens. You know, he talks about the heavens and the heavens. It's got to be a different dimension, because if you look, the universe is so big. You know, why wouldn't there be like another door to go to another universe? You know what I mean? Or something. I'm not very educated in all the science of things, but I don't believe in parallel universes at all. You know, it'd be cool to think about it, but I don't believe in parallel universe. But I believe, you know, when you
well, you know, then there's this idea. You know, they're doing more and more. They're getting the scientists these days. You know, they look at things smaller than the atom. They look at these the quantum realm, even smaller. Now, what they have come to understand is that it is possible to they call it entangle, but it's forming a relationship between two of these particles now, such that there is these particles can be miles away. And if you change one of them, it changes the other one at the exact same time.
Yeah.
In the same way that its partner was changed. Now, we have no understanding of how that occurs. There must be a force there that we just don't get it. You know, we haven't, and it would seem like you know, that's from the scientific perspective, that's a mystery, but you have to imagine that it's not too far off from imagining these portals to different realms, right? Where you know, it's just, man. But this really these bridges though seem as if they are based upon the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
And that, you know, then at the end of these things, if you keep on going down that road, each of these 7 deadly sins, man, it's just you get that glowing door at the end.
Man,
I don't think I want to go through that glowing door.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. It's dude, that's just, could you imagine though if she was transported to another dimension? What would the other dimension be? Could it be just like another, like Earth?
Well, I mean, would we survive? Well, first of all, would we survive it? Or our physical body survive it? Or would it be our spirit that would be, you know, somehow transported there, right?
Yeah.
Hey, people talk about the what you call that, astral projection, right? Where your spirit leaves your body. You have your consciousness and your ability to think, but it's detached from your physical body. And you know, maybe that's a way in which you could travel to this other dimension. But I mean, woo-wee.
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, I've told you this before, you know, I think everything's on a spiritual level. And a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people that are in mental institutions and they've kind of lost, you know, their babble to herself. Not all of them, could be a chemical imbalance or something else. I think that you can see into the spiritual realm, and that our mortal minds cannot handle it. We're on a mortal level. That's on a whole new level of plane and existence and knowledge. And if you peek into the through the veil in the spiritual world too long, it can break your mind. That's my opinion on it. You know, it's just a, you know, kind of a thing that I think about a lot. You know, I think that
in the way that the way that your spirit, like the energies from that other realm, or maybe the way that your spirit has to be changed to exist in that other
Yeah,
realm.
that's what I'm saying. You
And
got
when,
to go through
when
a
you,
change, exactly. Because, you know, like I said, I tried. Well, in the Bible, when Jesus said, you know, they went to touch him, when he came back, you know, after he was dead and came back and resurrected, you know, they said, don't touch. He said, don't touch me. I haven't sent it to the Father. So he was going through a transitional spiritual, you know, he didn't want to be touched yet until he got to a different plane. So I think that, yeah, that there's a really spiritual level to things,
well,
and we can go through other dimensions. I do believe that people that are missing have went through some kind of portals. That's my opinion.
and then, I mean, there's also plenty of stories about people who have, you know, let's say visited another dimension that come back with the ability to later on connect to that dimension. For example, people who have near-death experiences coming back, and then from that point on, they're seeing ghosts, you know.
Exactly.
And so yeah,
It's something to think about, man. And you know, about that it's so much out there that's a phenomena, and you know what I mean. Man, there's just so much to discover out there that, you know, people don't understand. People just think we go to work, come home, eat, go to sleep, go to work. You know what I mean? There's so much more on this earth, and how out here, this atmosphere, just that. There's stuff that we haven't seen, that some things we probably don't want to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man.
I mean, I don't want to see a freaking dogman or a ghost, you know? I really don't, dude. Which I've seen a ghost, you know. I told you that time I'd seen one. And that's the only physical one I've seen. I know other shit was around before. But anyway, that's the first time I've ever seen something. But yeah, I wasn't scared either. But that was the one haunting my girlfriend's nephew. The one. Yeah, and was throwing stuff at her niece too. Threw a lighter at her. Yeah, can you imagine that? But that was that was over him doing seances with Ouija boards, and he come back, and you know, he's 15 years old, and a sane person telling you that there's a woman whispering in my ear to do bad things, you know, and you know, I said, man, dude, what's, you know, I took him seriously, you know. I said, what's going on? And she looks like, you know, his aunt. He would say it looks like her. And what happened then, his sister was in the bedroom, and I remember this, she ran in the living room where we were at and said, why did you throw that lighter at me? Aunt so-and-so, you know, I don't want to say her name. And she said, I wasn't throwing no lighter at you, you know. Well, it was you. It looked just like you. And then later on, when I seen it, it looked just like her, but, you know, a ghost. Kind of looked like her, you know, the hair and everything. So it looked like his aunt, you know, my ex. And but what happened, I've told you the story again, but I'll just tell the real quick part of it. Is I, you know, was praying about it, and you know, my prayers basically was, I told him that, you know, you need to basically, I don't want to sound like I'm crazy, but when I was praying and God told me that I could run it out of the house, the spirit, but he's got to denounce it, you know, or whatever. So I went to him and told him that, and I guess he denounced it because it never came back. Because when he left, he was out of town, you know, and things would happen. Like one time I was sitting in the living room and the whole toilet seat went boom, you know, for no reason, and there was no animals to knock it down, you know. Stuff would happen. And then when I went in there, and I had a picture of an orb too, a video, you know, and stuff like that. But anyway, I when I seen it, I said, "What do you want?" I seen it for a split second. He said, "I'm waiting on him," you know. And then that's when we went all through the process. But anyway, it left, it never come back. But the deal with that house, that it was an old house, and there would be a lot of stuff to go, you know, there was a lot of stuff that went on. House probably was built back in the 30s, you know. And we ended up selling it. They tore it down. You know, old house was bad, you know. It needed a lot of work. But we ended up selling it. But, you know, the whole deal of it is you don't know what happens in a dwelling that you're in or what's happened in the past. I mean, something violent could have went on there, you know what I'm saying? Something very demonic could have went on there to bring them spirits up. But he actually brought that spirit around because he was messing with a Ouija board, you know. And I know I've got friends that probably play with them, believe this and that. Me personally, I don't like them. I don't want them around me. I won't play with them. I won't hate you because you play with them, you know. Like voodoo, you know, he's got one personalized, you know, that's his deal. I love voodoo to death. I'm just saying I wouldn't have one, or I wouldn't play with one. But what, you know what I mean? Because you mess with something you don't know about, you know, a lot of people don't. And I'm not saying voodoo don't know, because voodoo's an expert, you know, that's what he does. You know.
Well, I'm sure he does the prayers of protection. That's
what I'm saying. You know, you get little teenage kids, you know, young, dumb, and full of, you know what, playing with them, you know what I mean, to impress a girl, you know what I'm saying?
They could easily forget the protocol and open themselves up to danger.
Yeah, exactly. You can open yourself up to stuff. That's the word. You open yourself up, you open the door, a little crack come through, and, you know, and, I've mentioned it before on the podcast about objects being possessed. I've had objects that I believe that was possessed. I even had one time, I think it was, you know, I love the band, White Zombie, and I don't have any of their CDs, and I like Rob Zombie, but one time I was in Denver, Colorado, and I was sitting it was in the summertime, and you know how I was a teenager, and I had, you know, a girlfriend with me, and another, I think it was another girl, another boy in there. We're just sitting parked. We went to the movies, and the windows fog up, you know, because all the heat up there. We weren't doing nothing, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, not at the moment. And I had Rob Zombie CD, you know, no, Rob Zombie, White Zombie, their second CD, and I looked on the window where it's fogged up, and a pentagram appeared on the window. And I said, which one of y'all done that? None of us done that. And I took a rag, and I had something window. I couldn't get it off, dude, on my window. So, and then just something hit me. I rolled down the window, and I threw the CD out of White Zombie, and it disappeared instantly. True story. Yep, that's a true story. Now, you know, look.
Don't listen to White Zombie backwards.
No.
especially backwards.
Especially backwards. But you know what I mean, dude. I mean, that's like, I mean, I know I probably don't listen to the best music in the world. That's one of the reasons I don't listen to Led Zeppelin. Very talented band, great songs. It's just, you know, that the guitar player, what he was into, you know, he's in a lot of black magic, and
maybe he went to the crossroads, man.
He done something.
It could be. I mean, that's like how they got so good.
He probably did. He bought Aleister Crowley's house. I don't know if he still owns it. You know, he got deep into it, you know.
Wow.
I can't think of his name, not Robert Plant, but Jimmy Page, I think. And yeah, he got deep into it, and that's why some of the music, that even though it's so good, I just can't listen to some of it. You know what I mean? And I'm not perfect or nothing, but yeah, I just can't. But I seen a video. You can look it up now. Of Bob Dylan, and he admitted it. He said, I had to, he sold his soul to the devil. He told us straight up. Now he could be joking. But dude, I believe it's just true. I believe you could actually do something like that. Now I know I don't. I do. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying.
Oh no, hell no, man.
It could be some people. I mean, if you believe in the devil or not, or God, whatever, But I believe some people. I believe you actually could do that. I really do believe that. I don't know how it would go down, But some of them dudes, man, the way they play, it was, they're amazing guitar players and if you look in the history, a lot of them has died violently and died at a certain time. Now, I know that of Rolling Stones, they must have made a deal, man, because they still rolling. They're 100 years old, dude.
Yeah, they made a deal with them water babies, man.
Water babies. Man, yeah. I don't know why you kept laughing about I guess it's just funny sounding or looking. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
that was a great
episode. It's a mystery. But Illinois got some spooky stuff. I will say. Yeah, they got some of the OG stories, man.
Yeah, they do.
Mary.
Yeah. Well, next week we will be doing Indiana, not far from there. Indiana. Nice. Yeah, I don't think it's not far at all. Gary, Indiana, home of Michael Jackson and crime. So we'll be doing Indiana next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know we go on rabbit trails, but we're just here to talk and enjoy ourselves, and I hope you enjoy it. And guys, don't forget, I don't usually do this, but don't forget to like just the premiere, the video, comment if you enjoyed it, and share it out, guys. Try to get it out there, and if you, like I said, if you enjoyed it, share it out to your friends, your family, your grandma, your dogs, your cats. And if you didn't like it, put a thumbs down. But we're trying, we're enjoying ourselves, so I'm enjoying it. And
it's always fun, man. I just love learning about all these different spooky stories from the States.
Yeah, me too.
It's a lot of fun.
It really is. I'm really enjoying it. Hopefully, like you said, when we get done with them, maybe we can, do some kind of live stream or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about them all.
Yeah, I got a notification saying I had to verify if I wanted to go live, and I ain't going live soon. Like, I done that with my other channel. You got to send in like a video or your face, or you got to send in like your driver's license and stuff like that. If I get big enough, hit and fit, more steps you got to do is what I'm saying.
They want to make sure you're not an AI bot.
Exactly. Yeah, they're cracking down on them, and I don't blame them, because a lot of these channels, I have stuff going over and over again, and like cutting the watermelon up to get watch time, and I think that's BS for people to get content creators that work their ass off and put their time in. You know what I mean? And people's getting watch time hours from cutting a freaking watermelon up on loop. They do that, dude. And I'm actually friends with a couple of them. I'm not calling them out, but I just think it's bullshit. And I hope you don't get mad at me. I'm gonna call you names. But...
Well, what we got here is some real human commentary on some authentic, human created folklore story.
Yes, exactly. We want to enjoy ourselves, and that's all we want to do, guys. And I hope you enjoyed this premiere or VOD. But anyway, we appreciate you guys, and don't forget to look under your bed and look into your closet and be careful for the water babies. Until next time, everyone.
All right.
Peace out.